Okay, so it's April 2020. We're in the middle of the shutdown because of the virus, and a lot of the bigger channels are kind of doing some videos about new gun owners, some safety stuff, which is cool. And I live in Illinois, so I just wanted to do a quick video of a couple of the extra hoops that we have to jump through here in order to actually get guns. So you can't just go to the gun shop, pick out a gun, fill out your paperwork, and leave here. We have to have other things in place before we're allowed to do that. So first thing we have to do is we have to get a firearm owner's identification card. So they call it a FOID card. So basically what we have to do is we have to apply to the state police so they can do a background check. And you send them a passport photo. So imagine that's a picture of a person. That's my drawing capability. That wasn't a little kid that drew that. That was actually me. You have to send them all your stuff, your name, your address, date of birth, male, female, height, weight, eye color, hair color. All that sort of stuff gets sent in to the state police. They do a background check, and you're either approved or denied based on your criminal history. And you get your card when you're approved, and it basically just, looks like a driver's license. Put it in your wallet, and that gives you the permission to own a gun or buy ammunition. So when you walk into a gun store here, you might ask, hey, can I take a look at, such and such rifle or shotgun or whatever? And the first thing they're going to do is they're going to ask for your FOID card. You need to show them that card, and then you're allowed to actually, have a gun handed to you and check it out, shoot it on the range if they have a range or, whatever, stuff like that. Or to buy ammo. If you go into the store and you want to buy a box of shotgun shells, a box of, pistol ammo, anything firearm related, they're going to ask you for your FOID card. So you show them your card, do your stuff, and you're out the door. So we have this card which says the Illinois State Police said you're okay, you've done a background check, you're good to go, you can go buy a gun. So you go to the store to buy a gun, and next thing you have to do is fill out a federal form. So this is pretty much everywhere, not just Illinois. This is the form that is for the ATF. So this is the 4473, and this is kept by the FFL, the place where you actually buy the gun. And if the ATF ever wants to audit that business, they have all these records on file. But it's got your name, your address, where you were born, a whole bunch of yes/no questions. Are you a citizen? Have you ever renounced your citizenship? There's a whole bunch of other ones, Basically, are you a deadbeat or a criminal or whatever? So you answer all the yes/no questions. It puts the gun, the make, model, and serial number. So whatever it is, they have all that information on here. You sign it and date it. And then the gun store obviously puts some of their, numbers, their FFL number and all that stuff on there. So once that's done, they're going to send this information about you to the FBI. So the FBI does the National Instant Check System, okay? So that's the NICS. So sometimes you hear that on the news. March had record levels of NICS checks by the FBI. That's what that means. So it's the National Instant Check System. So they send this info about you to the FBI, and they do a background check. Checking to make sure, obviously, you're not a prohibited person, which is basically felons and a few other things can get you kicked off the list here. But once that comes back and you're approved by the FBI, here we still have a 3-day waiting period. So you've been, approved by the state of Illinois. They say they did a background check. You're good to go. You can go buy a gun. The FBI says, yeah, this guy's okay. He can buy a gun. But here we still have to wait 3 days before you're able to take it home. They call it a cooling off period. I personally don't know if it actually does any good or not. I think it's more of a detriment, especially if somebody's maybe getting a gun for personal protection reasons because maybe there's a nut job coming after them or whatever. You don't know what somebody's personal situation is. So this goes through, you get approved, you're able to buy your gun, you pay for it, you're going to come back 3 days later and get it. But wait, there's more. Here in Illinois, this just started this year, end of last year. We have to fill out another form for the state of Illinois. So this has basically the same information that's on that 4473 that the FFL already has and keeps on file. It's got your name, your address, the make, model, serial number of the gun, the cost. The state of Illinois wants to know how much you're paying for that gun. Why on earth do they need to know that? That's none of their freaking business. It's, I've been approved for my background check. I'm allowed to buy whatever I want. It's my money. What do you care how much I'm spending for it? But they want to know the cost. They also want to know the reason for the purchase. Like, why are you buying this gun? Why do you feel the need to protect yourself or your family or exercise your constitutional rights? We need to know. I always want to write none of your freaking business, but I'm guessing that would probably raise some red flags, and I'd probably get a knock on the door from some jackbooted thugs, and I really don't want to deal with that. So you write down, target shooting, hunting, personal protection, whatever your reason for buying the gun is. So just to get the gun home, we're going to have state of Illinois, state police background check, federal background check for each gun that you buy, and then this form to the state of Illinois, which is basically redundant because all this information is on that federal form. But that's all your stuff, and then you're able to, after 3 days, come and get your gun. Now that allows you to have a gun at home. So if you bought a rifle or a shotgun or something like that, for home defense, you're going to keep it at the house and that's the deal. Or maybe you want to get into, trap shooting or hunting or something like that. That's all good and well. If you get a handgun and you decide, hey, I'd like to carry this thing, that way when I'm out and about, I could have a gun in a holster, and if something happens, I can defend myself or my family or loved ones, whatever. Here we have to have a carry license. So this is pretty common. A lot of states have a carry license. Here, to get it, you have to go through a class. There's no way around it. It's 8 hours if you're a veteran. It's 16 hours if you're not. So 2 full days. Most of it is legalities, prohibited places. Like you're not allowed to carry a gun here. You're not allowed to carry a gun there. Kind of rules of engagement a little bit. There's a shooting portion. It's very short and very easy. And then once you take this class, you get a certificate, and then you apply again to the state police for your concealed carry license. So if you're approved, you get your carry license. Again, it just looks like a driver's license. Throw that in your wallet, carry it around with you. So on there, obviously, state of Illinois, concealed carry license, your number, your date of birth, expiration. They're good for 5 years. Name, address, when it was issued, male, female, height, weight, eye color, and again, there's a photo of you. You have to send a photo again. Normally they use your driver's license photo, so I don't know why they require a photo, but they do. So now you have your carry license. Now you can carry that gun. So in order to actually carry a gun here in Illinois, you're going to first get your FOID card. So this is a state police background check. And then you can do this in either order. So you get your FOID card, and maybe you want to go buy a gun. So you go buy yourself a gun, you do the 4473, and you get a federal background check. And then you want to carry that gun. Now you have to go and do this concealed carry license, which is a second state of Illinois background check. Or you could obviously get your FOID card first, state police background check, your concealed carry license, another state police background check, and then go buy the gun that you want to carry, federal background check. So we're going through 3 background checks to carry a gun, at least 2 to have a gun at the house, and then a few other hoops that we have to jump through as far as waiting periods in that form for the state. So like I said, it's not terrible. It's better than some states, but it's definitely worse than others. In a lot of states, this is all you need, right? The Constitution. So the Constitution is your carry permit. It is your firearms permit. If you want a gun, you're a citizen of the United States. That's one of our rights, right? You're allowed to buy one. So they put it in here. First one's all your freedoms. Second one's your guns. Goes through. Some of you know these. Some of you have to look them up, whatever. But, a lot of people think that these are things that the government gives us. I personally disagree. I think when they wrote these, These are the things that the government's not allowed to mess with, okay? So this is the stuff where, no, you have these. These are yours. The government didn't give it to you. It's yours. From the day you're born till the day you die, you have these things. Government's not allowed to mess with it, so it's there. So we don't need any extra crap to be able to live our lives and enjoy our freedoms. But in some states, obviously, we have to deal with extra red tape in order to exercise certain freedoms. So, like I said, in Illinois, we have to have the FOID card just to buy a gun. A lot of gun shops will actually help you through all this. So if you're interested in maybe getting into guns and you go to the gun store, a lot of them will help you fill out these forms, get them sent in. Some of them even can do it electronically from the store. They'll take your picture, fill out the form online and send it electronically to the state police, which definitely simplifies things, get you going down that road. Maybe you're lucky enough to have a family member or a friend or somebody who's already into guns, so they can, kind of help you kind of walk down this road and steer you the right way, and then maybe get your stuff and, check out some different guns, see what you want, that sort of thing. But just to get going, like I said, you're going to have firearm owner's identification card. Then you're going to have to get that federal background check. And if you want to carry, you're going to have another state of Illinois background check. So to carry the gun here, you're going to have 3 background checks, 2 from the state, 1 from the feds. To have the gun at your house, you're going to have 2, 1 from the state, 1 from the feds. So it's not terrible, but it is a little bit confusing if you're new to the area. If you move here from somewhere else, the first time you go to a gun shop and ask to check something out or to buy something, they're going to ask you for that FOID card, and you're going to be like, what the hell's a FOID card? I've never heard of such a thing. And then you're going to have a little bit of a rude awakening if you haven't looked into it before you get here. So it's kind of nice to know what you're kind of running up against before you actually start this. So if during this time and place right now, you're thinking, oh man, I should go get a gun because things are getting a little crazy and I don't know what's going on in the world. Here, you're kind of behind the 8 ball because you can't just go to the store and buy one. You actually have to have these things in place before you're able to do that. And with a lot of people looking into this stuff right now, everything's going to be slowed down, right? So the applications are going to be up. The background checks are going to be up. So they're going to be going slower than they usually do. And let's not forget, there's a lot of people that aren't working. So only essential people are working right now. Well, who determines who's essential? The government does. And who in Illinois doesn't want us to have guns? The government doesn't. So that's another consideration to kind of think about. So if you're already behind the 8 ball, you can go apply for these things and get them going. Hopefully you can get yourself protected before anything bad happens. But that's one of those things where, you look at some of these guys who are, preppers or try to prepare for stuff. They're looking ahead and trying to see what might happen. And if you're prepared for something and it doesn't happen, okay. What did that hurt, right? But if you're not prepared for something and it does happen, now you're screwed, right? That's why we have insurance. That's why we have fire extinguishers. That's why we have a lot of things that we have in the world, is because, you're better off being kind of prepared for something and having it not happen than to have it happen and you're just completely caught in the dark and blindsided by it, because that's when problems happen and that's when people end up getting in trouble or doing stupid stuff.